Hello, Will.
Mark, hi. Really nice to be here and catch up on the programming we're doing as part of the Better Future Leaders Club and the Better Future Festival, which has already started.
Exactly. So we're going to focus in here on the London 3 days, and you and I love this term, our trade envoy, Philip, that the two of you have been working away on finalising some of the program details there. The thing that is undeniable, it's always going to be there, is that we have the awards presentation at Vitra in the evening. But we've got the day before, we've got the day of the awards, and we've got the day after the awards. Tell me a bit
Yeah,
more
so
about the
this is all
program.
happening. It's all happening the third week of March. So it kicks off on Monday, the 23rd of March, as you say. And as you say, the pinnacle really is the award presentation, which is on the Tuesday evening. That's the 24th of March. And we, through our planning, we've looked at various moments, various opportunities while you're in town to get some momentum behind the Leaders Club, which we've just announced, but also to capture the spirit, the stories, the feeling of the travels that you're about to undertake, starting with Shanghai this week. And so we're looking in London, very much forward to seeing you, but also to get a reflection on what's happening across the design world and in those various cities as well. So tell us what your plans are between now and London, and then maybe we'll launch into the programming.
Yeah, sure. So, and in some ways, I've made it really difficult for you and Philip to put a program together in London, but at the same time, because we're recording and we will be distributing the contents, we took this perspective that for the period for about a month before London and also for a month after, I'm traveling the world. So I've done the Melbourne leg and the Sydney leg. I go to Shanghai this week. I then go to Jian in the middle of China, and then I also wind up in Shenzhen by the weekend. Then following that, there's Hong Kong, Abu Dhabi, and Dubai, and then I'm wind up in London. Let's say if Abu Dhabi and Dubai become problematic, I'll just head straight to London. But in each one of those cities, we're doing the trophy presentations because if people don't need to fly to London, doing an in studio trophy presentation has been fantastic. The energy from the team, the number of the studios I went and visited last week, they were like, "You mean the awards came to us?" It was simply amazing. As much as I would have loved to have dragged those people on a plane to London and said, "Come and look at the content," getting in with their team and doing it tactical in their office was fantastic. So really happy about that. But that takes away some of the people that are going to be able to come to the event. But the way that we're structuring it, it's actually about the perfume, not the eau de toilette, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a very nice way of saying it. I mean, obviously, Better Future, has a big focus on London. Across the years that we've been running, London has been a key part of the content generation, the engagement, and I'm delighted to support that by being based here as well. But maybe we'll just take a walk through the program, just take a little dive. Obviously, in terms of people wanting to be part of it, we'd be delighted to provide that information. It's all on the website, and this is a program which you can be part of for the whole of the program across the 3 days, or dip in and be part of each component.
And
So maybe,
we've made a change there, haven't we? So we've
yeah,
made it that if you join the Leaders Club between the next 3 weeks, you've got a multi-day ticket to the London events.
yeah,
So
nice.
there's a pretty good incentive there for people as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, exactly. No, exactly. So we're looking to pull people together, make it an accumulative experience across the program. So we start on Monday, the 23rd of March, and obviously you will have really just arrived in London, and so therefore there's a really nice opportunity in the afternoon, evening to get together. We're going to put you on stage, give you the voice, and make sure that we've got the opportunity of sharing some of these stories and reflections on cities that you visited across the world. And this is really part of the kind of next futures, looking at what those cities are facing as they develop, this, what's going through the studios, how that feeling is going, and also collecting the those projects, those ideas, that space for collaboration, and I think that's a really nice way to start the program. That will be in Soho, which is a really good place to start. You know, the heart of traditionally a very creative part of London as well, and you know that'll be a nice informal occasion around the design exchange notion. So we're pulling people together, we're exchanging information and floating ideas across the board, which is great.
In that, if you remember when we in December when we were in Shenzhen, and we did that fantastic forum with the Shenzhen designers. The intimacy of the forum is actually where it gets really, really engaging, isn't it? Because there's a visceral side to being able to go have those one-on-one conversations rather than trying to be in a big plenary hall and just being really an observer, not a contributor.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that building of communities is really important across the years that we've been doing Better Future, and of course your travels. There are communities across the globe, and I think the Leaders Club is a really good way of expressing that in the individual chapters. That we're going to launch the London one as part of this program, but also the ones that exist around the world, and therefore you've got both a local and a global sphere to operate in, which is fantastic. So
Being
then the
connected is important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's where this program really will solidify some of that thinking. So on the Tuesday, the 24th of March, we are going to do a program of studio visits, and those will be really good for us capturing content for the Next Futures program. We want to be priming Next Futures to have a whole cascade of ideas that we feel could be backed, turned into realization through the funding round that we'll talk about on a different episode. And therefore, you know, getting that temperature from across London's studios will be a really important part of this program. We'd be delighted to organise that for those visits, both with Mark to capture content, but also others that will be with us during this program as well.
I
And
think
that,
the important thing there is working out how to stitch together studios. I was with a branding studio today, and they showed me some of the work that they were doing. And immediately I was like, okay, I know three architectural practices in different parts of the world who need to know about the particular presentation techniques that you've got. That's so important because everybody does this together. You know, that nobody is an island, and making sure that we're giving people a chance to see into other capabilities and to work out where that could be useful for them is a really important thing.
yeah, I agree, and I think that's the benefit of having you and me coming into the studio, understanding what's going through the at the moment, and then making those connections. So I think that there's a kind of subtext around the opportunity of having kind of roving ambassadors, if you like, making those connections. And then on the Tuesday evening, as we've already mentioned, the awards presentation will take place from 6:30 at Vitra, which is on Rivington Street in Shoreditch. That's just a really lovely celebration of winners from across our programs, but particularly from the World Design Awards, which were announced in January. And the intention there is very much to kind of get under the skin of some of those winning projects. Obviously, that is a presentation around ideas that have come to fruition, which is a very important part of the recognition that Better Future delivers, and recognizes the very fundamental aspects of what Better Future is about, which is those teams of people working with commissioners and developing great work. So that's Tuesday the 24th of March in the evening at Vitra in Shoreditch.
Well, you're going to keep me very busy, but you know I love that. And it's that tactile side in being able to do the exchange, because it's when we exchange ideas, exchange opportunities, that we get to see amazing things happen. And we've got quite a few examples where people in the Better Future world now are collaborating and working on major projects because of the introductions that we've made. Whether it's studios that are here in Australia working with studios in the UK, or it's people in the UK working in the US. It's been really interesting to bridge those people together, because sometimes the innovation isn't necessarily in your backyard, and the type of cat that you want to work with may actually be on the other side of the planet. So
Yeah,
it's really, really interesting. I'm really looking forward to it.
that'd be great. And it's all about the storytelling, and I think that's an important way to really bring the people behind the projects into the spotlight. And then finally, on Wednesday, the 25th of March, we will be officially launching the London chapter of the Leaders Club. And I think this is a really lovely opportunity for a relatively small number of people to come together in a roundtable format to look at the opportunities of a more collective way of approaching challenges in the industry, looking at ideas, how we can support each other. And I think, we've established a very kind of big tent approach to how the design industry, as it's kind of classically called, can develop and build out, looking at things like the demand side, stimulation, opportunities around better cities, some of the things that we know you're going to be picking up on that tour. The Leaders Club chapter in London is going to be a very important one, and so therefore Wednesday 25th of March is the launch for that over an early morning period, so sort of breakfast to mid-morning period, again in central London. And I think, Mark, this has been something that a lot of work has gone into, so maybe just a few words on the Leaders Club idea.
Yeah, we had for 10 years the Design Exec Club. And the idea about that was the top 1%. And it was totally fine. It was a really good initiative. With the amount of need for change that we've got and this acceleration into a better future, I decided that why don't we try to capture the top 10%? Why don't we go get more people into the conversation? Because the idea of the top 1% was very much a US-centric perspective. And I think everybody knows that chapter is now on the wane. It's actually about this broader collaboration, the broader networks that can be created, which is what's really important. And one of the things that we know is the top 10% of the operators in an economic area, whether that's an economy or whether that's an industry sector, they capture more than 60% of the turnover. So the people that we're working with represent more than half of the spend in the design sector.
Yeah.
And that's fascinating, because that then means that the remaining 90% of the market have only got 40% by market volume or trade. What we want to do is make sure that we're actually working out how do we get that innovation there, but we don't exclude the other studios. What we're trying to do is work out how to articulate them in to the bigger players, because it's the bigger contracts that make a really big difference to a medium or even small size studio. And that's what's fantastic about the changes that we've made from going from a very exclusive club into this broader based club, so that we're getting more benefit that's coming across the industry.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be a really, really good moment for London to get that chapter up and on its feet, and also stimulate the way in which that resonates around the different hub cities that we've identified for the Leaders Club chapters as well. So that's the program. That's 3 days in London, third week of March. Details are on the website, and obviously Mark and myself are available to respond to any questions, get you tied into the program, talk about the specifics of the events that we're running, and so we'd be delighted to see you there. That's something that we're very much looking forward to.
Thanks for having a conversation about it, Will.
Going to be great. Looking forward to seeing you in London, Mark. Travel well.
Okay. See you.